Yeah.
You may begin. All right, you may begin.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, dear participant. Thank you, dear Leah, for allowing us to take part in this very important meeting of sharing and giving, of course. The West Africa TESOL Conference, September 2021. So Mrs. Fatimata Dembele and I are going to do a presentation on the topic is using the flipped learning methodology to engage EFL students. So thank you again for attending this important conference. Mrs. Dembele, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Khoudia. So as Mrs. Khoudia said, today we are going to talk about using flipped learning methodology to engage EFL students. So the objectives are to describe the flipped learning methodology, identify some tips to implement flipped learning methodology in their classes. Next slide, please. So this is the plan of our session. We have first the warm-up, introduction, brainstorming, defining the flipped learning methodology, tips to implement it in class using WhatsApp, and conclusion, and then we'll give you some reference we use for our presentation. Next slide. Let's start with the warm-up. So dear participants, you are going to choose the first letter of your name to describe how you feel presently. I am Faty and I feel fantastic. And Khoudia, how do you feel, Khoudia?
Khoudia looks kind.
Okay. What about
What
the other
about you,
participants?
Mama? Habib is happy. Great, fantastic, wonderful. Yeah, great answer. Yeah, wonderful, good. Yeah, great, good answer. Yes, Fatih.
Okay, so you gave great answers. You use your first name to describe yourself. You gave great description about yourself with your first name. Now let's see the brainstorming. Next slide, please. Okay, so we are going to use the chat box or just raise your hand to answer to the following questions. The first one, have you ever heard of flipped learning methodology? So you just use the letter A or B. A is yes, B is no.
Yes, no, yeah, 2 years, great. No, okay, no problem. Again, yes, good. You know so much about this. Wonderful. No, okay, no problem. Yes, yes, again. Great, wow. You're so informed about the flip learning methodology. Great, that's gonna be interesting. Wow, no, okay, no problem. Yes, again, yes. Okay, so thank you. The next question now.
Okay. Have you tried it in your classes? We have the choice between A, B, or C. A is never, B once, and C more than once.
Oh, 1A. Oh, okay, no problem. Once, great. Wow, more than once, wonderful. Yes, once again. Oh, good. Yes, more than once. Wonderful. Never. Okay, no problem. Never again. Oh, more than once. Wow. Wonderful. Great. Once. Again, once. Wow. This is interesting to know that some of you have already met this method, which is the flip learning methodology. That's wonderful. Great. More than once. Wonderful again. Great.
Okay, now, so what is flip learning methodology? Mrs. Khoudia Ngom is going to talk about flip learning methodology. Mrs. Khoudia?
Thank you, Mrs. Faty Dembele. So as we may know it, because in the chat box with the questions, there are some of us, some of the colleagues who mentioned that they have already met the flip learning methodology. So what we can say is that the flip learning methodology is a methodology which allows the teacher to give the students, the learner, the content before the lesson, before the class, before the course, of course. So the students may be given a text, a video, an audio, any material that you want to give to the student, you give it to the student before the course. And the student, once at home, will work individually, will try to to work with the materials you have given or the teacher has given to him at home in order to understand it. Maybe if it is about vocabulary, the student will prepare the vocabulary. If it is a text, the student will read the text and try to understand the text individually at home. If it is a video, the student will watch the video and try to know what happens in the videos. And if it is an audio, he will do the same thing at home, meaning the student will prepare the lesson at home before coming in class. And that's why one of the famous flip learning practitioners, Brain Sincha, defined it as a flipped classroom is a teaching approach where students are first exposed to content before coming to a class session, and then spend the class time engaging more deeply with the idea and concept. So as the definition says it or reminds it to us, it is a concept which allows students interaction outside the classroom and inside the classroom. Because once the student get back in the classroom with the content they were working on at home, they will first be put into groups to work together to collaborate, and the teacher now will work just like a mentor, like a supervisor, and we can say that this is a very important communicative way of teaching. She keeps on saying that this model encourages the use of active learning during in-person classes session to allow students to explore concept and solve problems with each other and the instructors. So again, the teacher is working like a guide, like a mentor, like a supervisor, and the student. This practice is very learner-centered. The next slide, please. Okay. Another definition still with the same offer. Consider the flip learning this way. She thinks that it moves activity, including those that may have traditionally been considered as homework, into the classroom. Of course, in the past, we used to consider students at home, we used to give them homeworks, meaning an exercise to be done at home. And now this time will be used for content preparation, if I can say it this way. In a flipped classroom, students watch online lectures, collaborate in online discussion, or carry out research at home while engaging concept in the classroom with the guidance of a mentor. So I think this methodology is very interesting, very interactive. It is an active interaction between students, the teacher, and the whole class. Okay, thank you, Leah. Yeah, the next slide, please. And in the flip activity, sorry, an illustration of the flip learning methodology, which was used at the University of Texas. And here is the image. So as you can see, the student first works individually at home before the class. And in class, first you see that the students are put into group. They are working about the lesson, about the content, about the course, but they are working in groups. And in the end now, in class, the teacher will work as a mentor, and that's wonderful because it is really an active learning methodology. Thank you, Leah. So now we are going to show you an example of a flipped class using WhatsApp. Mrs. Faty Dembele.
Thank you, Mrs. Khoudia. Okay, so as you know, in our context in Africa, WhatsApp is mainly used by either students and teachers. So we can, for this example, we can use WhatsApp to send, for example, a video to students and give them a task to do at home. So this task is to be done individually. For example, the teacher will send these two videos to the students to get them prepared for a lesson about greetings and introducing yourself, for example. So we have here two videos, the first one and the second one. Next slide, please.
Hello guys, my name is Aminataka. I am 13 years old and I'm from Dakar. I'm a student and I'm in grade 5. My favorite subject is English. My father works at school. He's a teacher and he teaches Spanish. My mom works at home. She works very hard. I work hard at school and I work at home. I have two brothers and one sister. I have also many friends, but my favorite is Butterjai. I love my friends Butterjai. I love you and I love my family. Bye.
Good morning, my name is Faty Job. I'm from Darmusti and I live in Darmusti. I'm 17 years old. My school name is Mamchana Ibrahim Bake High School. I'm in level 6 form L1B. My hobbies are playing basketball and reading also. I like people who defend their country. I don't like an unfaithful person. I want to become a policewoman after my.
Okay, thank you. So the teacher is going to send these two videos to the students via WhatsApp. Next slide, please. Yeah. Okay, so and this form, and the students are going to fill this form individually by listening to the two videos. For student 1, the name, age, grade, favorite subject. Students 2, name, age, grade, hobbies. Okay, so, and next slide, please. Okay, so once back in the classroom, the students will be put in groups of 4, correct the form they were sent by the teacher, and then they will be asked to answer to the following questions. What are the two students doing and how do they do it? And so the answers of the students, the teacher is going to take the answers of the students to introduce the lessons about greetings and socializing. And especially in our 10th grade, we have these lessons. We can use it by sending first the video to the students to do it individually at home, and once back in the classroom, put them in groups and correct the form they were sent at home, and after give them some questions to more implement your lessons about greetings and introducing yourself and others, for example. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, or you can send them a text that Mrs. Khoudia is going to talk about. Mrs. Khoudia.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Dembele. So with the videos, objective of the teacher was to teach greetings and socializing to his students. So she prepares or he prepares videos of two students greeting, socializing, talking about their hobbies, their preferred subject, and send it to the student via WhatsApp. And at home, the student will do some exercise about these two students. And now once in class, the teacher will use the information in the videos to do his or her lessons dealing with greetings, socializing. This is how we understand the flip learning methodology. Now in the text, the next slide, please, Leah. Now with this text, the teacher would like to teach, to do a speaking activity, meaning giving opinion, expressing oneself. So the first thing to do is to give the text to the student. Maybe at the end of the class, the teacher can distribute the text and ask the student to read the text and try to understand it first. And now he has put some questions with the text. So maybe we can leave the text if necessary. If not, we can move to the next slide. Okay. So these are the two questions that the teacher has used with the text. It is a multiple choice question. Cycle the best answer from A, B, and C. So the first one is pop. For the pop, gossiping is. And here the student is asked to make a choice between A, B, and C. So of course, in order to answer this question, the student needs to read and understand the text. And the second sentence, in the sentence, let's try not to gossip. The Pope is making. Here also, the student needs to read and understand the text before dealing with these two exercises, or with this exercise. And now, once at school, the teacher will put them again in group, ask them to correct this exercise, and now from the information and from the text, the teacher can use it to deal with the lesson concerning or regarding expressing oneself, giving opinion. This is how we can use the flip learning methodology with a text. Okay. Maybe just to mention that we can use it with any materials. You can use WhatsApp if you want to do it. You can just tell the student to prepare something at home. If you don't have the materials, maybe you can send the student videos, or you can put them in group and give them an activity at home. Whatever the case, they have to prepare the lesson, they have to prepare the course at home and come in class, work in group, collaborate first, and the teacher now will come at the final step in order to practice her or his lessons in a very communicative way, because the student will be well informed about the content of the lesson. And this is maybe what is new is the fact that the student is part and parcel of the lesson. He is a lesson preparer. He will prepare the lesson at home. He will collaborate with his classmate in the classroom, and at the end, the teacher will come as a partner, as a mentor. So this is what we wanted to show you about the flip learning methodology. Thank you. Mrs. Dembele.
Thank you, Mrs. Khoudia. Now we have two questions of reflection for you as participants. You are going to use the chat box to answer to questions, or just raise your hand and mute quickly and answer to them. Just 1 minute to answer to the question. So the first one, write 2 things you've learned from the presentation. Okay. And the second, how are you going to apply what you've learned in your context? Okay, so you can use the chat box or just raise your hand. Okay. Wow. You can see that. Okay, 2 things. Mr. C. Yes, great. It's first time to learn about flip learning methodology, and you learned a lot. Wow. Okay. Okay. So, okay, that's great. Mrs. Deister, she is going to try it this year in a classroom. Okay, great. That's great. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so these are the references we use to prepare our presentation today. And we thank you very much for being here and for being either in Mali and Senegal at the same time. Thank you for participating. And the floor is yours for suggestions, comments, and questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Dembele. So here is the end of our presentation. Now we are waiting for your comment, your suggestion, and you can use the chat box or unmute yourself whenever you want to say something. Thank you so much.